What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As promised to you guys yesterday, and as you can see by the title, this is another Golden Years video. Going over, we take either one particular year or a great run stretching over multiple years from a battle rapper, and we just go over, do a little history dive on why that might have been their prime year, you know what I'm saying, and the details behind it. Just some appreciation, a little bit review of these kind of MVP-like seasons that battlers have. And as you can see by this video, we are doing Hitman Holla's 2010. Now, excuse me. Now, with this one, obviously, I've done a few Hitman videos lately. This will kind of be the roundup of the little run of Hitman videos, all in anticipation for his easy battle, which we'll get a full prediction once that full card is out for Chrome 23. But I love doing the history dive. And when you talk about Hitman's prime years, obviously we talk YouTube era guys. You got to go back to the 2010s, mostly pre-2015 for a lot of these, YouTube era battlers. And there wasn't as many battles per year back then. I have Hitman here, and if there was a Cody or a Battler of the Year award back then, I think Hitman would have been in contention. Grind Time was around. I can't remember for the life of me, but someone on Reddit did a great piece about it. Soulcon might have been the best champion of the year in 2010 if it was there back then. So there is an argument to be had there, but I just wanted to focus on Hitman's year because when we mentioned prime battlers specifically from these eras, we have a hard time actually putting it to a year. But when you look at his 2010, particularly the two matchups, 3 battles dropped in 2010, but only 2 of them actually happened that year. It was a very fruitful year for Hitman with some of his most impactful all-time quotes and impactful all-time results from battles. So for those of you that have been here, we're going to start with the background, where this battler, where Hitman was going into 2010. We're going to do some in-depth breakdown on his 2010 battles and then talk a little bit at the end about where he went from there, which we all know is obviously, it's a battle rap god tier. But without further ado, let's talk about, 09, those years before, where Hitman was before his humongous 2010 campaign. So, just going over background, most of his battles pre-2010 are street status battles. Obviously, he's a St. Louis battler, part of the Midwest movements where he comes from. And this is where you get battles like Rich Dollars, Young Ill, when they both had the braids. Kind of a crazy battle looking back, considering all the history that's happened since then. Cashola, as well as Remy D. He lost to Remy D, for those of you that don't know, a very long time ago. And it just goes to show a lot of these battlers in their young years take a loss here and there. And, as they get, as battlers get more into their career, get more stardom, fans will be like, they never lost, undefeated. I just feel like there's so much debate. So, a little piece of history, Hitman did lose to Remy D back then, but obviously was very good in all these battles. It's how he was able to produce that kind of that star power. And then he was to get Big T, which dropped in 2010, but did happen in 2009, round by round style. It was a very, very good performance. One of some people's, one of their favorite battles ever. Early Big T, this is around when Big T was extremely formidable. I think a Golden Years on Big T would be good one day to remind people. But extremely formidable here, as well as Hitman, his first URL battle. And overall, they had a dope. They had a classic. In my opinion, I do have T taking the first 2 rounds of that battle, even though some people I know kind of debate and give Hitman the first. And then I have Hitman clearly taking the third. His violin bar.
Tries when I spot her. I pick her up by her thighs, then put her under my chin, cut her across the chest. It looked like I'm playing the violin. I win.
All-time just moment. Still to this day, one of the best bars he ever had. So, great showing versus one of the other guys that, like I said, if you're a newer fan, it's crazy to hear, but Big T was like that, back in 2010. So, coming off of that, we would go into his actual 2010 battles and just do a bunch of different material and moments that we'll go through here. Even though it's only 2 battles long, Hitman rose really to stardom this year and put himself on the map as one of the best in the world in battle rap at that time. So without further ado, let's get into the first half, the first battle of his great 2010. So that first battle of his great 2010 would be versus Cortez. Cortez versus Hitman Holla, extremely classic, debatable battle. And right from the first round, Hitman he starts off, he is the wing stop bar. If he's flying, I'll shoot him down. That's where his wing stop. It was cool back then. The Steve Jack, hop in the crowd, get to fighting him like Steve Jack. Dope. The Mark Sanchez haymaker. And then from there, right in the first round, the Mark Sanchez bar is great, by the way, but right from the first round, he gets into I said, man, what?
I'm outside. I told him, bitch, nigga, man, no. He was like, man. I said, man, what? He was like, no, Holla, I'm just saying. You saying what? Remind you of mom's coming from the grocery store, the way we put them cans up. I'm all for the stat.
And that's the comedy and performance that you see in this battle, which really jumpstarts not just Hitman's career as a performer, although he's been performing coming into this, the violin bar versus Big T, things of that nature. But this is where you really start seeing him come into his own and add as a performance battler, which at this time, guys, now even just to make a big league, you have to be a great bass performer at that, a certain professional level. At this point, though, performance is really almost a new aspect of the game. So you see him hit the grocery store the way mom coming home from the grocery store, the way we put them cans up, as well as the slide up on him like baggage claim and the Trinidad performance bar. So weaving, hooking, all those things were new, and he really stole the show in that first. On the road, may I add, because this is clearly a home game for Cortez. The crowd shows that, in New York. And Cortez has a good first response. The stepping stone angle to start at the top of his first. He has the grind time smack, where you grind time and he raps like it's grind time, and then smack. He said, I made smack a grind time URL circus show. Did not age well at the time. I understand why it hit. Things like that would hit, but not the best. And ends his round with wouldn't press pound on a working phone, the Young Ill impression. Definitely some good comedy in there and some good bars, but I thought Hitman was way more consistent, had way higher peaks. So I've always given Hitman that first comfortably. As for the second, Cortez clearly got this round, really one of the best rounds of Core's career. Hitman's pretty much the whole first half of his second is a bit of a dry spot. He ends great with the Michael Jackson Motown glove bar, the John Lynch bar, the Lil Mama bar. A lot of great bars to end his second. Still a great second from Hitman. I mean, this is a classic battle after all, so there's not going to be a lot of bad in this battle no matter what. But Cortez responds with the rain delay and Kobe rebuttals, which were dope. The blasphemy bar, which is OBC now, probably the first time that I heard it back then, though, disrespect to God and everybody going blasphemy. So that's a haymaker in 2010, as well as the absent-minded bar, but more than anything, this is prime Core, like all of these opponents in 2010 that look crazy, not crazy on Hitman's resume, but they made him that age to be the talents that he has. But at this time, Cortez, Shine was calling Cortez out. A bunch of people were calling Cortez out. He's one of the hottest out. So him having a second like this is not that shocking. The East beating the Midwest, talked about them smoking the Midwest, that kind of moment. So it's a pretty clear 1-1 going into the third. And the third is where the debate of this battle comes down. People have been debating this third for years, and they're going to keep debating it. And you have Hitman with his Murda Ave angle to start the first. And probably the lightest of his 3 rounds, he's at the Gulf of Mexico and Hotel Days Inn bar. So it's definitely like just a solid third from Hitman. Good pure rapping, good performing and aggression. Not as much written down bar for bar strikes. And as for Core's third is dry for the most part. He has a career breakdown at the front, which is cool. Kind of a dry first half of his round. And the back half of his round, he pulls out these bandana props, which is cool. A little bit of real talk in the crowd, gassed him up. But it all comes down to the Pacquiao, your blood is in question haymaker. Iconic, possibly the most iconic bar of Core's career. So the third is extremely debatable. Do you value that one lone iconic haymaker or a little bit more of a complete round? Me personally, I value the complete round. So I've always edged, as well as edging right now, Hitman the third and the first of this battle. Great classic showing. If you're going to have 2 battles, they need to be bodies or classics. So you got the classic here. The first round alone has 1.1 million views. And from there, we would go into one of the biggest body bags of Hitman's career. And that body bag we spoke of before to be the second battle of Hitman's 2010 is Hitman versus Arsenal. Unlike the core battle, which I probably had on the screen but didn't mention until the end, that was dropped round by round, similar to the Big T battle, with the first round alone having 1.1 million views. The second and third having, I think it's like 830K, and then I think 720K, something of that nature. So after that, we get to the Arsenal battle, which has 4.8 million views. Closing in on 5. You have 2 of the view count juggernauts here, so it's no shocker there. And this battle is so iconic for Hitman's performance. Starting right from the first round, the bus driver angle, which is obviously popular, versus Ars at the time, saying you're soft, you're the school zone, all the different Arsenal bus driver jokes that we've heard. Blackboard, you get dry erased. I'll send your throat back in the mail to your family. That's a voicemail, which was kind of ridiculous. But at the time, stuff like that hit. And then, the contract said I couldn't.
Bring cops through, gangsters, killers, thugs. I bring the block through. His homeboy keep talking while I'm rapping. Not cool. The contract said I can't hit this nigga. Not you.
Incredible moment, incredible bar. I don't know if that was fully improvised in the moment or not, or written, because he still had a rhyme scheme to go with it. But one of the most incredible moments in Smack history, right off there from the first round from Hitman. The croc, he's in a croc pool. Just let him know that he's croc food. The pure rapping, and I think that's one big thing about the early 2010s. Every single guy that was up there really, the rapping ability part was at the forefront. Everyone hit flow pockets. Everyone was about cadence, even if some had advantages in pens and performance. Everyone had that similarity of rapping that we've kind of gotten away from. Some guys don't have as heavy an emphasis on their actual delivery and pure rapping. But Hitman's First is a masterclass of that. As for Arse, I'm not going to have too much to quote from Arse in this battle, because Arse is kind of rapping ridiculousness. As we know, this is an extremely lopsided battle. Sending shots at other people. Talk about disrespecting Hitman's son. I'm a pistol whip your pregnant baby mother, and the sun comes out. You know how Arsenal gets down. So a little bit of a ridiculous kind of first. He'll beat him to death with Squidward's clarinet. Iconically all-time bad bar, but really funny. The Contra Gat was dope. You get punched with a fistful of rings. You think Kobe snuffed you is actually pretty funny. So he's got a couple good bars at the end there, but still Hitman extremely clear in the first round. As for the second, I can't even put the clip in here, but the storytelling angle about the Arsenal and Rex, and Arsenal not fighting Rex, something that, shout out to Fat Boy, Damn I'm Wild from over at the New Era podcast. Love what those guys do. And I got to chop it up with him. And something he talked about, I think it was on a recent episode of New Era, about Kid Chaos and Sheed, the start of his second, the McDonald's storytelling, and how in battle rap, you don't really get to tell stories anymore. People used to tell stories, comedy, long drawn out. Now the crowd is so focused on punch or going at your opponent, they don't really give you that build up most of the time to tell a story. And this second from Hitman is perfectly how to tell a story, how to keep the crowd engaged. One of the best storytelling, kind of segments in battle rap history. And even from there, the 50 cal knocks some calories out. Calling Arse the rattled snake bar. Incredible second again. Arse once again does not have a very good second. Mostly just a dry round with these horrorcore, I'm gonna kill children bars. We all know how Arse gets down. So it was Hitman extremely clear, 2-0 going into the third. And the third is the closest round of the battle. Hitman has his spell out Arsenal bar. He has some bars calling Arse, question his sexuality. But the biggest one, bullets ricochet and hit the king's mom like Delonte West. Arse got booed in the third, kind of rap miscellaneously again, but between the storytelling, the Delonte West bar, the not you moment, all that, man, this is one of the purest, just most clean Hitman performances of all time, with a clear 3-0 body over Arse, who is another superstar at this time. So in 2010, with a classic versus core and a body versus Arsenal, Hitman had really announced himself to the battle rap world. And that is going to do it here for Hitman's Golden Years 2010. A little bit shorter, but obviously always going to be a little more condensed when you talk about these early 2010 times, YouTube era. Hitman, obviously incredible with the Cortez Classic, Big T Classic too, even though it was not in the 2010, didn't happen then. And the Arsenal body, this is great, iconic stuff from him. And even though he's went on to have performances like the K-Shine performance, the Rock performance, the Surf Battle, which is all-time classic, you look at what he did here, and this is really what set him up for greatness. You look at his following year in 2011, what plates did he get? Hollow and Goods, which are even higher ranking back then. Funny enough, the Hollow battle's a dud and he choked versus Goods, but it just goes to show his work in 2010 made him such a star and put him on the map that he did get those opportunities. Then you followed up in 2012. He battles Aver, all-time classic, and then battles John at the end of 2012, also classic, and he's the A side. He's giving the shot, one of the first, noticeable shots given in battle rap that's always talked about. So it just goes to show, in about a 6 to 7 battle span, he went from new to the brand to the A side in a couple years. And that just goes to show what he did with performance coming in with the Midwest movement, being a breath of fresh air, and bringing a different style of battle rap while still staying true to the things that people love watching Smack for. It just goes to show how great of a talent he was, pretty much off rip, with classics and bodies pretty much being the first thing he did when he was on the URL brand. Big T, Cortez, Arsenal. So, love this year. Like I said, I think SoulCon, a couple other guys, when you take in the full scope of battle rap, may have had better 2010s, but just off the URL brand, I think that he was probably the best battler on that brand and possibly the best in the world, even with only those 2 battles. So it just goes to show, man, his impact from day one. You could see the star potential in Hitman. So you guys let me know down below in the comments what you think of Hitman's 2010. Anywhere around this time you think I missed a little detail. There's always so much cool history to go into in these early 2010s when the legends were kind of young and the legends were fighting for their way up. And it really set up the blueprint for battle rap as we know it now. We know early 2010 and going is kind of how we get to this, the early 2020s and where we are now in this industrialized version of battle rap. All starts with these 2 to 3 battles a year of the YouTube era class, catching wreck with each other and creating these platforms in this sport, for so many people to come in past them afterwards. For those of you who've seen my all-time video, top 10 all-time, you know how much I think of Hitman, and this is really where that whole all-time great battle rapper run starts. So, as I said, comment down below. Let me know what you think about Hitman's year around here, some of your favorite bars or favorite moments from around this time. And also, just like, comment, subscribe overall, show it love. I love doing golden years, going back to these lost MVP years since we only have Cody to document kind of 2017 and up. I want these amazing particular years to get mentioned, which is why I do the series. But let me know also down below in the comments, who would you like to see next for golden years? What, if you could, maybe a year region or maybe 1 year you'd love to see me cover a battler. I just love the series and love the history. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.